From the Joy News Center. This is News at 8.
This is the Primetime News Bulletin here on Joy News on Multi-TV. In this edition, group organizes demonstration to demand radical improvement in the way the country is being governed. Government denies social media letter claiming President John Mahama has resigned. Planned implementation of VAT on financial services and increases in utility tariffs and fuel prices suspended. Long queues for fuel yet to dwindle despite resumption of supply to the market. And in showbiz, Black Star's disastrous appearance at 2014 World Cup in Brazil to be made into a Hollywood movie. We also have sports, business, showbiz and international news coming up. Stay tuned.
News at 8 with Israel Lai.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has put on hold plans to introduce a VAT on financial services from Tuesday, July 1. It would have seen banks and other financial institutions charge 17.5% tax on some services rendered to the public. A statement from the GRA reads, after a careful evaluation of progress of the ongoing publicity and education program on VAT on financial services and taking cognizance of the request by sections of the banking community for extension of the period of preparation for implementation of the tax, the commencement date of 1st July 2014 originally set has been postponed until further notice. The decision taken in consultation with the appropriate stakeholders is to allow for more education of the general public and adequate lead time for the banks to achieve the level of preparedness that will ensure a hitch-free implementation, end of quote. Some of the services that would be affected include closure of accounts, remote banking services, including online banking, e-statements, phone banking, mobile banking, sale of check leaflets, replacement of lost checkbook, among others. But government has come under intense pressure from various quarters, including banking institutions, unionized workers, to withdraw the 17.5% VAT imposed on what they described as non-core financial services. Long queues for fuel still persist despite assurances from government that millions of litres have been supplied to the market to ease a shortage that has lasted several days. Joy News checks reveal even though several stations have got the product, the supplies have not been adequate. The supplies have, however, brought some relief to motorists and consumers.
Over the weekend, government in a statement released and signed by Deputy Minister for Information and Media Relations, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, said measures have been put in place to ensure that oil marketing companies have been supplied with enough petrol. But it seems the scramble for petrol still continues unabated, especially in the capital, Accra. I have pitched camp here at the Pig Farm Junction Total Filling Station, and you can see a huge number of cars, gallons and other receptacles, just an indication that people are still battling for fuel. I have been joined by this gentleman, and he will tell me what he has actually gone through just to get, a gallon of fuel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Isaac Abrokwa.
I can see you have a gallon already, but tell me, how was it?
It wasn't easy. It took me a long time for me to get a gallon and also come into the queue to get fuel. And I believe that the government has to put measures in place so that we can get fuel, because as it stands now, productivity is low, and also people are not able to move from one destination to the other to do their work, and I believe that they have to do something.
Okay.
They have to.
And so looking at the fact that you have to go through this daily, do you think the situation would, be over anytime soon?
I don't really think so, because I believe that as it stands now, we don't have any hope that we are going to get full. They are promising us, but I don't know. And it's really, it's very appalling, and I believe that people are really affected. Yeah, a lot of people are abandoning their cars on the road, and I believe that if they don't do anything about it, there will be a lot of robbery cases and all of that, because people have to park their cars in traffic and also at the filling stations, so that in case when fuel comes in, they'll come and then fill their petrol, like their tank. So they have to do something. Yeah.
And so this is just one of the many frustrations people are going through just to have access to fuel. We'll be talking to more people to find out, how the situation is here at the Pig Farm Total Filling Station.
I'm Barima Osei Asare.
What time did you come here? And I can see you have been served.
Oh yes, in fact I didn't keep long. It's about, let's take 15 minutes. Oh, I think everything is becoming normal, and the government those who in charge have assured us, so we have to accept it or take everything into consideration that they will, because last Friday they were scared, but now I think they have been making improvement.
As you could see, we are all joining the queue to have a fuel into our vehicles and then move out to work. And well, it's just delaying the whole nation in terms of business aspect, because wasting like 1 hour 30 minutes here, I could also be doing something in the office, but then I need to put in fuel into my vehicle before going to work. So actually it's delaying the whole process in terms of business aspect.
But you see, they are serving, but the line is not going. That is the disturb that I'm disturbing.
It's critical because since last week Wednesday, I parked my car. Maybe sometimes a friend will call me, say maybe the fuel is here, I should go and buy. Maybe when I get there, there's no fuel. Sometimes you can join the queue for about 6, 7 hours, then the fuel is short. Then you have to move the car back to your house. So that is what we are facing. So, but I think today they said there's fuel, so we thank God.
And so what we've been able to gather so far is that there is enough supply, but the queue is still long and winding. We've been to some filling stations in other parts of Accra, and the queues are non-existent. But here at the Pig Farm Total Filling Station, there is a long and winding queue, and so we are all hoping that by close of day, the situation will be reduced to the barest minimum. Ridwan Karim Dini Osman, Joy News, Accra.
Oil marketing companies operating in Ghana have meanwhile criticized the decision by the National Petroleum Authority to suspend a planned increase in the price of fuel. The increase of about 20% was widely speculated to take effect from July 1. The NPA, however, says the current prices will be maintained for another 2 weeks. Coordinator of the oil marketing companies, Kuku Ajamangdua, however, says the decision will not be the most prudent, explaining that the public is likely to suffer a much higher increase after the 2 weeks.
And I believe that even if we don't have any fuel price hike coming out from the commodity market, what will be happening is our own exchange rate loss. The question is, how do we with the exchange rate losses between now and the next time that we have price review? And that's something we need to be thinking about. But its independence is subject to the policy direction of the minister, and that's what happens.
Now, news just coming in is that the government has released a statement to deny some purported letter making rounds on social media suggesting that President Mahama has resigned as president of Ghana. And I'm going to read out the statement that's just coming to you. It says, and it's signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, who's the Deputy Minister for Information and Media Relations. It goes, the attention of government has been drawn to a spurious letter making the rounds on social media in which President Mahama is portrayed as having tendered in his resignation from the office of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Government wishes to state unequivocally that the said letter is a total fabrication and the product of criminal machinations by faceless elements with a view to sowing seeds of panic, anxiety, and chaos within the Ghanaian society. In view of the gravity of the matter, especially the clear case of forgery of the president's signature in this matter, government has formally requested the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service to conduct thorough investigations into the matter and bring to book the masterminds behind this reprehensible act. Government takes this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that President John Dramani Mahama remains eternally committed to abiding by the oath that he swore before them to serve them diligently with the highest ethical and moral standards. President Mahama continues to discharge his responsibilities as President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He is at the forefront of efforts to bring an improvement in the quality of life of the people of this country. The general public is therefore encouraged to disregard the letter and its contents. And the letter, as I told you, is signed by the Deputy Minister for Information and Media Relations, Felix Kwakye Ofosu. It's a letter we're taking a break. We have more stories coming up. Don't go away. Now, a group of Ghanaians who initially were supposed to organize a non-partisan protest against government for current economic hardship at the premises of Flagstaff House have had their plans changed due to security reasons. Dubbed Occupy Flagstaff House to be marked on Republic Day, July 1, the group will now converge at the Fuasadaland Children's Park in Accra to protest and then march to the Flagstaff House, where leaders of the group will present a petition to the president to express their dissatisfaction on the current state of the economy. Joining us on the phone now is Nana Sapong. He's the organizer of the group. Good evening to you, Nana Sapong.
Good evening.
All right. Now, first of all, tell us about this organization. When was it formed and where was it formed? Where are you coming from?
Good evening to all your viewers. We just gave birth to ourselves just last week. We were discussing we were just talking amongst ourselves and my other colleagues, and it's like we felt that in fact the hardships have become. We realized this when there were fuel shortages, and we also got wind that to be fuel increments next week, including utility tariffs and implementing their taxes on the banking sector.
Yeah.
It was out of that frustration that gave birth to this organization that decided to stop complaining on Facebook and actually put our petitions out to the president for him to hear.
Okay. So you're saying that you are formed basically off Facebook and social media?
No, it's not off Facebook. We are colleagues. We're going to school together, and so we've been
talking about social media, Facebook and Twitter and the rest. There's this letter that's just or press release that's coming from the president or government suggesting that there's some people circulating some letter suggesting that President Mahama has resigned. Would you guys know anything about this?
This is the first time hearing this, and I doubt if my other colleagues are aware. I'm even currently not on Facebook right now, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
So now, you initially had planned, from my understanding, is that you initially had planned to converge in front of the Flagstaff House, and the police said it wouldn't allow you to do that. So what arrangements have you come to with the police now?
Yes, we came to an agreement that we would convey if Wasatland Children's Park. And when our numbers build up, we then move towards the house and present our petition to the president.
On what basis does the police say they were not going to allow you to converge in front of the Flagstaff House? Is it that you didn't have your...
security concerns.
And you agree to the issues there is?
Pardon?
You agree?
There was a lot of banter back and forth, so that was what we agreed on with the police.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that the issues you're protesting against are fuel price hikes or impending fuel price hikes, shortage of fuel, and utility tariffs and a whole lot. It turns out that most of these things you're complaining about have been, the VAT on financial services has been suspended until further notice. The impending fuel price increase has also been put on hold. Isn't that, you know, at least something has been done about your complaints?
Well, the word they use is suspended and postponed. So that means whichever be the case, it's going to happen. It's like an albatross over our head, ready to dive in. So, and it's not only those issues that we're complaining about. We complain about poor services from the utility services, electricity, and they are planning on increasing theirs from tomorrow. But have not been served with what they promised they would give us when they initially increased it at that high rate. And there are a whole lot of other issues also, including aspects of government communication, which also goes on. You know, currently now Ghana is ridiculed all over the international media, and that's in bad taste. And we suggest that we get responsible governance from our leaders, and that's what the president to be aware of. That there are a whole lot of things going on in the country where it isn't really making the lives of us, we Ghanaians, easy. But keeps rising. We heard they actually were going to arrest it, but that's not, it's going higher and higher. Cost of doing business is very high.
Okay.
Go to the market prices.
All right. Thank you very much. Nana Sapong is organizer of the Occupy, one of the organizers of Occupy Flagstaff House, a group that was going to march to the originally going to march to the Flagstaff House to protest what they say are the current tough economic conditions and the way the country is being governed. After some negotiations with the police, they've decided that they wouldn't march they wouldn't converge in front of the Flagstaff House, but rather will converge at the Efforts Sutherland Children's Park here in Accra. Now we have on the phone lines the public relations officer of the Ghana Police Service, Freeman Tete, who had earlier stated that the group could not embark on such a demonstration at the Flagstaff House due to some security reasons, and the timing of the protest is inconvenient as far as public policing was concerned. But they're saying that after the meeting ended with both parties, it has been agreed that the group converge at the Efforts Sutherland Children's Park. Good evening to you, DSP Freeman Tete.
Good evening, Israel.
So can you confirm for us that indeed you have agreed to allow this march to take place, and what agreements did you come to with these folks?
Yes, I can confirm that we've agreed that it should take place. We were going to work together. There have been a prolonged meeting that we had with them. Eventually, there was a compromise that they could have it, but not at the Flagstaff House or around the Flagstaff House. That's at the Efforts Sutherland Park. Then not more than 3 persons, if they want, we will escort them to the Flagstaff House to present their petition. So that is the conclusion of the marathon meeting we had with them today.
So they were saying that they would march to the Flagstaff, they'll converge at the Efforts Sutherland Children's Park and march to the Flagstaff House. Has that been agreed?
It's not part of the final decision taken for security concern.
So they can't go to the Flagstaff House at all?
They can't go at all. What we can do is that not more than 3 will be escorted if they are willing to present the petition to the Flagstaff House. They will be escorted to do so. Not more than 3, I must emphasize. So that is the decision, or that is the point we have arrived at. And I believe we are all sailing on the same boat.
Okay. Now
the same boat.
There's another group that was supposed to also be embarking on another or counter demonstration. Are they going to go ahead, or are you aware of these people?
We are aware that the group has indeed notified the police that they will be embarking on what they call a keep fit or a route march.
But
the fact still remains that we've expressed our concern in terms of numbers, in terms of our readiness to provide security, because we'll be fully engaged tomorrow. So they've agreed and backed down.
Now,
so theirs will not come.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, DSP Freeman Tete, for enlightening us on the issues that are at play. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, another group, calling itself Friends of Dana Bodakpi, have hailed his decision to vie for the chairmanship of the National Democratic Congress. The group, during a news conference in Takrady, said they were confident his experiences and expertise will help transform the party. In other news, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the U.S. Agency for International Development, has launched their integrated approach to literacy teachers guide. The teaching material is designed to provide education to pupils in their formative years in both the Ghanaian and English language.
The Teacher's Guide, a landmark in the education system, was developed from the National Literacy Accelerated Program and the Teaching Learning Materials Program in collaboration with the Curriculum Research Development Division of the Ministry of Education and the Chicago State University. The bilingual guide comes in various local languages in the country for pupils from kindergarten to primary 3.
What we are trying to do is recognize the importance of the L1, the Ghanaian language, and then gradually transition that child so that when they do learn English, it is learning English on top of or side by side, in some cases as it gets into the older grades, that child is really learning both languages and becomes a bilingual and biliterate person, as opposed to having a shaky relationship with both languages.
The aim for the development of this classroom material is to develop literacy and language skills in the mother tongue and systematically transfer these skills to English, given the high language acquisition skills of children in their early years. The material uses a methodology that integrates mathematics, science, and literacy in a holistic fashion.
Upper West Regional Minister Beat Zidane has warned municipal and district assemblies in the region that they will be sanctioned if they fail to meet the September deadline on the street naming project. He said some assemblies have the penchant of saying that they don't have money, and which he said is non-negotiable. Beat Zidane gave the warning at the launch of the street naming project in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region. Rafiq Slam's report.
Apart from these two streets, namely the Insurance Street, which links the Wa police station to the Wa airstrip, and the Epa Street from the Gongomuni Junction to the Sokpayiri traffic lights, there is no other street in Wa that has a name. The Insurance Street, although very popular, many people can hardly tell how the name came into being. The Epa Street is named after a city in Belgium due to the symbiotic relationship between the Wa and the Epa municipalities. For most residents here, the decision by government to embark on a street naming project is welcome news, as it will open the municipality to the rest of the world. The inauguration of the street naming project took place at the forecourt of the Warner's Palace.
It is to ensure quicker response by emergency service providers like fire service, ambulance service, and the rest. It also serves as a tool for efficient delivery of municipal services. Provide location addresses to contribute to easy identification of properties. Provide an address platform to facilitate government initiatives such as national identification exercise, national population and housing census.
Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Emmanuel Kojo Ejekum, called on chiefs and traditional rulers to support the project for it to succeed. Outgoing Upper West Regional Minister Beat Zidane called on assembly members to share knowledge on the project with other sister district assemblies in the region.
I want to commend the Wa Municipal Assembly for placing the trail in this exercise. Their successes and failures in the implementation process should serve as lessons in the other sister assemblies.
Rafik Salam's reports from WA for Joy News.
Inadequate infrastructure is hampering the intake of fresh students at the Doma Senior High School in the Brunhafu region. Correspondent Nestor Kafuya Joma reports major projects, including an ultra-modern assembly hall, have stalled for the past 8 years.
Doma Senior High School has a population of over 1,000 students. Overcrowding is a major feature at the Doma Senior High School. This is attributed to lack of facilities such as assembly hall and dormitories. The school's dining hall has now become a multi-purposed facility with dining and other school functions conducted here. This situation has slowed down academic work because whenever there is a function, apart from dining, the students spend hours moving furniture outside and then back after the program. This foundation is supposed to be an ultra-modern assembly hall, but construction, which commenced during the late President Atta Mills's reign, has stalled. The assembly hall is expected to accommodate about 2,000 students upon its completion. Another project which has been abandoned is an administration block. Assistant headmaster in charge of academics for the school, Vasco Duku, says the appalling situation has prevented school authorities from admitting more students.
It's a very big challenge to us. We see that our dining hall has been used for dual purposes. We use that one for social gatherings, and then at the same time we use that one also for dining. And many a time when we want to hold any social gathering in the dining hall, we need to convey the chairs, everything inside that dining hall outside before we can arrange the place. In the same way, when we also want to eat, unless we bring that one also in, this one is affecting our academic work in the school. And we waste a lot of time in that area too. So it is my prayer that one day government will listen to us, know whatever the problem that we are facing in the school here, so that we will come to also our aid. We are also appealing to the old boys and girls of this school to also be awakening. Nowadays, it is the old boys and girls who have been helping a lot of schools, and without them we cannot also function very, very well. So they should also return to donate a lot to our school, as have been done to other schools.
The Home Economics Department of the school has also had its fair share of the numerous challenges.
Many teachers used to also stay in one bungalow for one teacher. And many a time we have been witnessing a lot of petty squabbles among teachers simply because we are so choked in certain bungalows. A bungalow for one teacher, 3 teachers will be using that one. And this one is not a healthy issue for the school. So we wish the government will come to the aid of the school by helping us getting additional bungalows so that we can also employ a lot of teachers into the school.
15 health reporters from selected media houses in Ghana have received a 3-day training on decoding research findings on health and making it beneficial to their target audience. The organizers, KTNet Africa, say that training was informed by the observation that research works are mostly misinterpreted and do not benefit the general public.
The training program brought together researchers from the Noguchi Memorial Institute, PhD students, researchers from Uganda, and also other stakeholders in the health sector. 2 main research works were presented by 2 different groups that worked on them. One assessed the National Health Insurance Scheme by engaging clients in monitoring health care and health insurance to see how to enhance and sustain participation.
I think this interaction is really very important because improving these relationships and also opening up and discussing the problems which are coming up, like the quality problems or the information problems, can be solved when people are open and discuss these.
The second research also focused on maternal health care delivery in Ghana.
At the end of the day, we don't want to have researchers who are just publishing things and sharing them with other researchers and then patting themselves on the back for the achievements they have made. What does this mean for the people on the ground?
And that is what we are looking for. If we can get researchers thinking away from academics and into practicality, then as KTNet, we are actually achieving something.
Participating hospitals who acted as intervention tools for the researchers were awarded for their efforts towards improving healthcare delivery. KTNet Africa is a network of 8 research coalitions with membership of a coalition of researchers from Rwanda, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Ethiopia, Ghana, Senegal, Mali and South Africa. Its overall aim is to promote and support the uptake and use of research evidence generated by its coalition partners who are funded by the Global Health Policy and Health Systems Research Program.
We're taking a break now. We'll be back with international news. Stay tuned.
Time now for some business reports with me, Abigail Adomakoenchi. Now, the Finance Ministry says it is already taking some aggressive measures to address government's rising expenditure. This is in response to the downgrade of Ghana's credit worthiness from B1 to B2 last week, Friday, by rating agency Moody's. According to the agency, this was mainly because government is not doing enough to check the budget overruns. But in a statement, the Finance Ministry believes that government has done enough to stabilize the situation in the short term. Meanwhile, Moody's has been outlining conditions that could possibly see it review the downgrade of Ghana's credit rating. These include fast-tracking programs to reduce government debt, strengthening inflows from investors to address the country's infrastructure needs, while shoring up the foreign exchange reserves to reduce the country's vulnerability to external shocks. The rating agency also maintained that entering into a financial program with the International Monetary Fund might influence a review of the downgrade. Away from that, development economist Dr. Eric Osei Asare is asking government to be consistent and coherent in implementing its economic policies. He's also calling on government to be pragmatic and research into the policies they intend to implement to save the economy from stagnating. He spoke to Joy News after government announced a suspension of the new 17.5% VAT on financial services today. Tax policy advisor to government Dr. Edward Labisian confirmed the suspension to Joy News via telephone but declined to explain the reasons behind the move. For development economist Dr. Osei Asare, government could lose its credibility.
It doesn't make the governance serious. You know, people shouldn't, the governance shouldn't be like a wind. You know, blowing cotton, and it blows it in any direction that, you know, the wind, you know, directs. We have to be more serious with macroeconomic management. You know, this is not new. Just recently they came out with this windfall tax to the mining sector, which some people think, a lot of concerns. Yeah, for concerns, they started raising the government. It even took it to the parliament, but in no time they said we have withdrew it. Before you come out with policies, you should have sat down with all stakeholders, you know, provide evidence that this is what is likely to be the case. We have evidence to show that when we impose this tax, this is what the effects, this is how we're going to go. This is the effect on the larger macroeconomy and the effect on your business. There's clear evidence. Unlike you wasting all the time, you know, going to meetings, paying per diems and all workshop, only for you to come out and in no time withdrawing. I don't think it's good. It presents a good image for the country.
He emphasized the need for government to whip up the confidence of investors following Ghana's downgrade by Moody's Investor Services.
Once you are downgraded, then it means that your risk profile is high. There's high down risks, you know, downside risk to the economy, and that will, you know, it doesn't make the country an attractive destination for investors.
Consistent.
It's been consistent, yes. So one would have expected that now things should begin to see in a positive, direction, but it doesn't seem so. So I think something is missing somewhere. I have always maintained that we always seem to have what I call knee-jerk policies. Instead of sitting back, being much more objective, embarking on research, evidence-based to say that this and that actually went wrong, and therefore going forward we want to move in this direction. Okay, once we begin to do that, then the investor community, the development partners, and everyone will know that yes, you have been able to diagnose the problem. Definitely there's hope if we persevere, if the government become a bit more serious as it has been now, and engage people, experts, and be more pragmatic, not just lip service, paying lip service and say that we are doing that and we are doing that, but we don't see.
Well, I hope government is listening. A lot of key points there. But that'll be all for business. For more news, visit myjournonline.com. I'm Abigail Adomakwenchi. There's more news Tuesday.
It's been heartbreak for Africa, certainly, and the ongoing World Cup. We expected Nigeria to go all the way to the quarterfinal. They lost to France by 2-0 in a dramatic action. Let's actually find out what happened in the game in terms of the goals.
Here with this battle of Europe and Africa. Free kick here, important moment for Nigeria. Odemwingie is headed back into the danger zone, still in play until Ugo Lloris for Valbuena. Cut back in. What a save! Thudded away. Now he takes this free kick. 1-0. Fantastic save, Yema. Another terrific stop. The ball came at a good height for a goalkeeper, I suppose you would say, but the man in canary yellow here is performing heroics yet again for looking for the winning goal maybe at this moment though. It's here. It's there now. It's into the net. Poor Pogba. Foiled by Yema in the first half. Is not it's almost at standing space at the moment, and Griezmann has got the second. That's France through to the last 16. That's Nigeria on the plane home. The defender was I think the last touch may just have been ironic.
All right, so that's certainly what happens when you talk about bonuses ahead of your game, and the Nigerians certainly losing out of that. Let's now give you the update on what's happening between Germany and Algeria. The Algerians are really matching the Germans boot to boot, and actually the scoreline is goalless between the two sides now, though. Let's talk about Chile. They went out of the competition against Brazil, but of course when they went home, everybody received them with a rousing welcome out. They're very excited, and they call them heroes.
Like every other 4 years, Ghana's participation in the 2014 FIFA World Cup caught the attention of many news networks. But the headlines were not solely about the rather uneventful performance of the Black Stars players, not to mention their loss to the Stars and the Stripes of the USA. And although it seems many are getting over the disappointment from the Black Stars, Hollywood is not letting them and the country off the hook, at least not yet. According to a movie website, The Wrap, some Hollywood producers are getting ready to make a film about the Black Stars' participation at the Brazil tournament, with a plot revolving around the flying of $3 million cash to the players in Brazil. So how would this movie look like? Nia Matabe, he joins me in the studio to discuss a possible look and feel of the movie. And for your information, Nia Matabe also happens to be an integral part of our entertainment team here at Joy News on Multi TV. Good evening to you, Nia. So tell me, What have you been able to gather?
Well, look, what I gather so far is that this movie is going to be about a courier who is supposed to transport $3 million in cash to a team of players from an African country. And on his way, he gets ambushed by some thugs of sorts, and then the money gets stolen. And he has just 12 hours to get the money to the team players who are angry, and also to make sure that he delivers on the job that his employers have given him, which is the country that contracted him to send the $3 million to the players. Fine, they didn't mention Ghana,
okay.
But of course we all know that.
No, but they've indicated
yes,
that it's about Ghana.
They're taking an inspiration from Ghana, but we don't know whether at the end of the day the story, they'll mention Ghana Black Stars in it.
Okay.
But what I've gathered also is that now I know the producers behind it.
You can beat them to
I know the director, so probably I should talk to them, and then I'll take it from there.
But it would involve quite a bit of money, maybe $3 million for production. Do you have that?
I don't. So that's why I have to speak to the Hollywood guys. Probably we might come to a compromise, and then they could partner or work on it.
You know, Kumawood may also beat you to it, you know?
Yeah, they produce almost every day. I would need some time to get to Brazil as well and get some footage. But
if you were to produce this movie in... Kumawood was to produce this movie, what do you think would be the title?
Black Stars Aboka or something.
One
and two.
Exactly. You can't leave it at Black Stars Aboka.
So Black Stars Aboka Part 1 and 2, like that.
Thank you very much, Mia Kofi. Right, in other news, in other show business, Ghana's fastest rapper, Sarkodie, must be having a good year as his name has been inducted in the Black Entertainment Television Awards Hall of Fame. This followed his performance at the early experience alongside some renowned African acts. And that'll be all for Showbiz.
Showbiz.
Before we go, a quick look at our top stories. Group organizes demonstration to demand radical improvement in the way the country is being governed. Government release denies social media letter claiming President John Mahama has resigned. Planned implementation of VAT on financial services and increases in utility tariffs and fuel prices suspended. Long queues for fuel yet to dwindle despite resumption of supply to the market. And in showbiz, Black Star's disastrous appearance at 2014 World Cup to be made into a Hollywood movie. And that's it for the bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Israel Lion. Have a good evening.